You're welcome to another edition of Victor Isibo Reviews. In this video, we'll be talking about tips that you need to succeed in transport business. Make sure you watch the video till the end because it's going to be a serious eye-opener. In this intro, I want to give you a bonus tip. Install trackers in any vehicle you want to give out to anybody. Okay, those trackers will be your eyes. Even when you're not there, you will know where your vehicles are, and it's a serious, vital security measure. Now let's jump right into the rest of the video. See you later. Hello, beautiful people. You're welcome to quite another edition of Victor Isibo Reviews. If it's your first time here, consider hitting the red subscribe button below. Turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of my subsequent videos. And if you're a returnee, I want to thank you for sticking around. I want to thank you for watching my videos back to back to back to back to back to back. For without you, there'll be no me. Thank you very much, guys. Today, we want to talk about transportation business as it applies to the hire purchase agreement between the investor and the person you're giving the vehicle to. So, I'm quite experienced in this business. I've been in this business for about half of a decade. And so I know some of the pros and cons in this business. So you would benefit a lot watching this video. Make sure you watch it till the end because I'm going to give you step-by-step guidelines as regards what you need to do and what you must not do as far as this business is concerned. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Oftentimes you've heard words, derogatory words, being said about people in the transport business. You hear people say motor park tout, you know, different words that are used to describe people in the transport business that are quite derogatory, that are akin to thuggery and general misdemeanor, is being attributed to people in the transport industry. Okay, there is this very successful transporter who came onto the scene a couple of years ago, and he was able to break the monopoly in the market in my city. The particular route he was running, he dominated it despite the fact that there were veterans running that route for a very long time. And he came into the scene, and in a relatively short period of time he was able to dominate. And that got me really curious because the route he runs is a route that I run quite frequently. So I had been looking forward to meeting him one-on-one to ask him what was the recipe for his very, very fast success, and I was looking forward. So one particular day I was quite lucky, and they told me, there you go, that is the CEO of this motor park. So I approached him confidently, and I was able to ask him just one question because he seemed in a hurry. He was on the move. I was like, it's a pleasure meeting you. My name is Victor Isibo. I am one of your regular passengers at this motor park. He was glad to meet me, and he asked if he could help me. I said, yes, of course you can help me. I'm amazed at your success, and I want to congratulate you for your success. How did you make it so fast? I mean, what is the secret? I have a transport company I'm trying to build up from the scratch, and I could do with some lessons from a veteran like you. He smiled, and he said, well, he's in a hurry, and that he was going to give me an answer that would suffice, an answer that happens to be like the ultimate guideline that anybody can give me. I was like, what's that? He said, be mean, be mean, be unforgiving, be very mean. He said he couldn't emphasize this enough. He said it and he left. The guy that was with me was like, is that all? That's the secret to his success. These people don't like to share how they got to the top. That got me thinking. A few months down the line, I found out that he had given me the one singular most important detail as regards guideline needed to succeed in transport business. See, in transport business, it is always you against those that are working for you, because these guys are out to ruin you. These guys are out to rip you off. Now, I'm not saying there are no good people in the transport business, but the truth of the matter is, if you get a good man and you give him your vehicle to drive, he is going to mix up with the already corrupted lot. And you know what they say, when you keep bad company, of course you start to learn bad traits. Okay, so the good guy you brought on board is going to get corrupted by this lot. Okay, so now there are things you need to do. First of all, when you want to invest in transport business, the hire purchase agreement, first of all, when you get the vehicle, make sure to insure the vehicle. Make sure to insure the vehicle, because that would be like a cushion against theft, damage, or loss of that vehicle. Because most times you see on the highways, you see accidented trucks carrying goods worth several hundreds of thousands of dollars, and several weeks after the accident you still see that vehicle at that scene of the accident, and you're wondering why the owner isn't bothered about recovering the vehicle. Is because the insurance company has taken care of it, and the owner couldn't care less the fate of that vehicle. Okay, so you have to do same, and you have to secure and insure your vehicle. Okay, now the next thing is to get somebody to drive your vehicle, someone with whom you want to do this hire purchase agreement. I tell you, the most important thing when it comes to transport business is the person or the people handling your vehicle. Okay, the human being is even more important than the vehicle itself. I tell people, look for who is going to drive the vehicle first before you even start saving for the vehicle. That's to tell you which is more important. The personnel handling your vehicle is more important, is the most important person in this cycle of hire purchase agreements. Okay, now let's talk about how to get the person that will drive your vehicle. First of all, that person must be someone whose whereabouts, where he lives, what he does, his past antecedents, you should know. If you don't know it, it's simple. You have to investigate it. You need to know the person you're handing your vehicle to. You don't want to hand over your vehicle to someone who has a long list of criminal records. You don't want to hand your vehicle to someone who is an alcoholic. You don't want to hand over your vehicle to someone nobody can vouch for. So you have to investigate the person very well, probably pay a visit to the person's residence, see how they live before you decide to hand over your vehicle to that person. Then again, and also very important, is the fact that the person you want to hand over your vehicle to must have a guarantor. Many people don't know who a guarantor is. A guarantor is not somebody who is as poor as the driver you want to give your vehicle to. No. A guarantor is somebody who has the wherewithal to buy that particular vehicle you're giving to that prospective driver. If you're coming as a guarantor for somebody, you should have the wherewithal to buy that vehicle in the event of theft of that vehicle by that person you're bringing as a potential driver. Okay, you have to be able to prove to me that you can afford this vehicle. If this vehicle is, for instance, $100,000, you should be able to prove to me that you have more than that and you can pay for it in case the person you brought to me decides to run away with the vehicle. You are coming as a guarantor to attest to the good behavior and legitimacy of that driver. You're coming to vouch for him. And you don't want to vouch for him empty-handed just by word of mouth. What if the person does not do as you have said he would do? What would you do? Then what you should do is to pay for the vehicle if he steals my vehicle. So that is that as per guarantor. He has to come with a guarantor who has the wherewithal to pay for that vehicle in event of damage or loss of that vehicle. Okay? And of course, now, caution fee. 10% of the amount of money you used to buy that vehicle should be paid to you as caution fee by both the guarantor and the driver, whoever brings it. But it must be brought. Caution fee. Okay, you will know the essence of this caution fee as we go ahead in this video. Okay, the caution fee is something that would keep them in check. Now, we can't misbehave. This vehicle is $100,000. We have committed $10,000. We can't misbehave. We cannot afford to break our promises. You know, I'm going to have to fulfill my own side of the bargain, just as the owner of the vehicle is going to fulfill his side of the bargain financially. It's a financial agreement, okay? So now, get your lawyer, do the paperwork, and, you know, sign the agreements, decide the style, the amount of remittance, be it $100 weekly, be it $200 weekly or monthly. Decide the style and the schedule of remittances, okay? And it should be regular. And in that agreement you're drafting with the lawyer, you will draft a misdemeanor and you put a penalty against it, okay? Stick to your penalties when you draft the terms and conditions. Now, remember the advice the successful transporter gave me: be mean. Stick to the agreement. There are no friends in business. You don't mix pleasure with business, okay? So now, if remittances is once a week, $100, stipulated maybe on a Saturday, if the guy defaults the first time, okay, you can pardon him according to the agreement. You can pardon a one-off misdemeanor. The moment the person defaults the second time, make sure to include it in the agreement that you have the right to trigger the end of that contract. You have the right to terminate the contract by retrieving your vehicle and ending that contract agreement between the both of you. If the person defaults the first time, they have a plethora of excuses. If their wives are not sick, their children are sick, or their landlord just threw them out, or they had running stomach, that's why they could not work, that's why they could not bring your money, or they had a headache, or it was the rain, or the roads were bad and stuffs like that. The moment you buy their first batch of excuses, they have spotted a weakness in you. Yeah, they just spotted a weakness in you, and they will come with excuses week in, week out, week in, week out. They can even draft a timetable. This week, my mom is going to be sick. That's what I'm going to tell him. Then next week, my wife will be in the labor room trying to give birth. Then next 3 weeks, this is going to be that, that is going to be this. All those are nonsense excuses you should not accommodate. Okay? If they default multiple times, collect your vehicle from them. Collect your vehicle from them. Collect your vehicle from them. It doesn't matter who brought them or who they are. They could be family, they could be neighbors, they could be friends, they could be colleagues, they could be relatives to one uncle somewhere. Collect the vehicle. You're not in business to make friends, especially transport business. You're not here to smile. Because if you smile and you play the nice guy and your business goes under after just a few years, same people will come and make jest of you that you're a bad businessman. So be mean, be straightforward, stick by the rules and nail them. It's best to collect your vehicle from a defaulter now that your vehicle is still in a new state, okay, than for you to wait till when the vehicle has become a jalopy and is not moving fine anymore. When the vehicle is very bad, the moment you want to trigger the termination of the contract, the driver is very happy to come and dump your vehicle, because he no longer fancies the vehicle. The vehicle is no longer good enough. Then he would go and sign another agreement with somebody who is going to offer him a brand new car. Who loses at the end of the day? You. So the best time to terminate the contract is when your vehicle is still in a very good condition, so that you can enter into another agreement with someone more serious. Okay, so do not pardon. No, do not. When you're doing transport business, you can even be working with signs. Here's what I do. The moment you come and you're giving me excuses, I had a flat tire, I spent the whole day at the mechanics, I'll just do like this. My drivers know what it means. Put the key here, put the car key here. That's what it means, and that's the end. That is the end of that contract, because, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to laugh and joke. I'm here for the money. I invested this money and I'm expecting returns. So you come to me giving me excuses doesn't make sense. Another point to note is have your mechanic. Now, I'm not saying they cannot connive with mechanics. Of course, the repair of the vehicle in hire purchase agreement is on the driver. Yes, he's going to be handling the repairs, but you have to stipulate that it should be at your mechanic's place. Now, that mechanic should be someone you have met before you probably met the driver, so that there will be some kind of closeness and you will expect a level of loyalty from your mechanic to you, so that when they say, oh, the crankshaft is bad, the this is bad, the that is bad, your mechanic would be the one to verify, and of course will be the one to buy the spare parts required and fix it and make adequate charges. If you leave your driver to go and look for a mechanic somewhere, they are going to finish you. He will go and look for someone from the same village as him, and they'll speak their language, they will bamboozle you, collect all the money that you have made. Have your own mechanic handle the repairs of your vehicles at the cost, at the expense of the driver, but it has to be your own mechanic. Okay, I'll tell you a story of a friend who bought a truck. He was still on a job and he bought a truck, and he gave it to someone on hire purchase. And the first 2-3 months, the guy was very forthcoming as per remittance. He was paying, and my friend thought he was on a roller coaster because he was making money. In the 3rd month, stories started coming. This part is bad, that part is bad, I couldn't work. Now the guy would come, instead of him to come and remit, rather he's coming to complain and collect money from my friend to go and do a certain repair. That was going on for several weeks. At some point, he came with a bill of a lot of money that my friend could not afford, and my friend was like, you know what, just wait, I'll look for the money for you and you'll fix it. So for several weeks, my friend could not come up with the money, and when my friend is driving on his way to work, to his place of work, the truck, he would sit at a mechanic's place. The mechanic that the driver took the truck to, was at the roadside, on the road leading to my friend's office. So as my friend is driving by, he would see the truck, the front tires are off, jacked up, like they're working on it. So my friend would sit there and it would keep going. Until one day, my friend decided to go to the mechanic's workshop to ask what the fate of the vehicle was. Then he had the greatest shocker of his life. He got there and he made inquiries about the vehicle, what's happening with this vehicle, what's the repairs like. So fortunately for him, the mechanic was not around, so the mechanic's boy was there. The mechanic's boy took pity on my friend and called him aside and said, sir, I want to share a secret with you. Okay, there is a connivance, there's an ongoing connivance between my boss, the mechanic, and your driver. There is nothing wrong with your vehicle. Now, by day, your vehicle is here looking like it's being worked on, looking like there's a repair going on. Nah, there's nothing. Okay, because once it is 10 p.m., they put the front tires that are off right now, they put it back on, and they take your vehicle to a close by factory to load cement. They take those cement to a particular location. They charge about $50 per trip, and before daybreak, they've made like 5 or 6 trips, and by 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., this vehicle is back here. They remove the 2 tires and jack it up so that when you're going to the office, you see the vehicle there that is still being repaired. So there is a connivance going on. Okay, so you see, my friend was very angry, and he retrieved his vehicle, and he arrested the guy, and they had this back and forth with the police. That's to tell you to what extent that these drivers can go just to rip you off. That's why you see, you have a truck. You, as an investor, you have a truck, you can't feed your family, but your driver is buying houses and buying cars. This thing happens every time. Okay, like I tell people, transport business is very profitable on one condition. What's the condition? DIY. Do it yourself. Okay, so if you're a busy professional and you're busy somewhere, and you just buy a vehicle and you just give it to people with zero supervision, what you have just done is you have given them a meal ticket. You've given them meal ticket. They're going to be milking you off back to back to back to back to back. Okay, so you have to do close monitoring. Okay, pay unscheduled visits to where your truck is being used, where your vehicle is being used. I do that all the time. I just pop in. There was a day I popped in at a place where my vehicle was being at a park where my vehicle was being driven, and a day before the guy was supposed to come and remit for the week, I popped in there, and I saw that the guy was not at the park. Rather, another person was driving my vehicle and stuff like that. Okay, so when he came the next day and he was giving me stories, I told him, you were not at the park, you were somewhere else. Somebody else was driving my vehicle. So guys, I believe if you follow these steps, you are going to be able to maximize profit and checkmate those that are trying to rip you off in your transport business. Okay, let me see your comments in the comment section below. Share this video on social media. Till I see you next time, it's Victor Isibo Reviews. Bye for now.